Some years ago, I was co-writing a book about the early history of the penal press in Canada. The penal press is a term used to describe newsletters written and produced by prisoners. Some are directed at fellow prisoners, but the majority have an outside readership. When I was reading these materials, it struck me that the newsletters that dealt with Christmas seemed to not only look different in terms of illustrations, but the content and the tone seemed to shift in these seasonal publications. At first glance, the censor's pen seemed a little lighter, and the prisoners appeared to use this seasonally motivated latitude to offer insights and critiques not always seen during the rest of the year. So when the book project was complete, I enlisted Bethany Sanjenko to work with me on research that looked specifically at these newsletters over a longer period of time. This article, Captive Christmas, Unwrapping the Third Space, in the Howard Journal of Crime and Justice, is the result of that project. In it, we explore prisoners' insights into the lived experience of the carceral subject during this increasingly secular holiday, one which Barnett argues now enjoys a seasonal cult status.
In this research, we wanted to attend to the lived experience of prisoners, and the penal press gave us a chance to see the holidays through their eyes. We were able to gather data from over 169 newsletters spanning from the 1950s to 2021. Our analysis focused on the issues immediately preceding and following December, as they offered the most seasonally relevant materials. Using Cope's method for transcribing transcripts and diaries, we assigned materials with interpretive tags based on categories relevant to the research. The resultant coding manual consisted of 12 distinct categories and 28 subcategories. Next, we conducted a horizontal analysis to examine similarities and differences across publications. This allowed us to center the prisoners in our research by identifying their intentions and reflecting the cultural patterns of the institutions as interpreted by the prisoners themselves.
We were flush with descriptive accounts, and as we reviewed the literature and our own coding, we realized that the prisoners were describing an experience that was certainly rooted in the carceral environment, but that also drew on the outside world. It was a particular, temporally bracketed liminal space, a created space that transcended binaries like free, captive, inside, outside, or guard, convict. In short, they had created what Homi Bhabha termed the third space. In this article, we've used this concept to structure our findings.
These materials offered a plethora of examples of third space. For instance, many institutions hosted Christmas events, inviting friends and family into the prison and blurring the inside-outside boundary. Decorations at these events also helped to transform the physical environment, aiding in prisoners' ability to imagine themselves in the third space. Prisoners, often with the tacit assistance of guards, sometimes bent the rules when escaping into the third space, one example being the brewing and distribution of alcohol. This kind of challenge to the keep-or-kept binary was permitted as long as their transgressions did not threaten the guards' control of the situation, in which case we see the normal control apparatus re-engaged. Like we see in the free population, the Christmas season for convicts is littered with heightened emotions, some positive and some not. In our analysis, we see that the third space allowed prisoners to cope by mentally transcending their present circumstances through, for example, reminiscences of Christmases past. As one writer puts it, these memories allowed prisoners to feel as though they are back in their living rooms. One other notable theme that arose in the analysis was the fostering of solidarity among the convicts. We see them reach out to each other in various ways to survive the captive Christmas. In the press, they show us that they surprise themselves and redefine each other. As one prisoner stated in response to the seasonal kindnesses, "Nuts, who does that? Definitely not hardened criminals, right?"
So in sum, we believe that this article contributes to our understanding of how life behind penitentiary bars is navigated, contested, and resisted by the carceral subject. Further, by focusing on the most dominant holiday in Western societies, we can better understand how the exceptional nature of both the prison space and the pomp and associated festivities of Christmas become reconfigured and co-constituted, if only briefly. This, in turn, advances third space scholarship. We hope you enjoy the article. Thanks for joining us.